Welcome back to another video, guys. As you can tell, today's going to be an install on a 17 litre Safari tank on the DRZ. Now, this is going to be hopefully a little bit of a short and sweet video showing you all the things that you need to know and none of the rubbish that you don't. So if you're looking at doing an install yourself on a 17 litre Safari tank on your DRZ, hopefully you get some value out of this video. Now, I've been wanting to get a long range tank for quite a while, obviously because the 10 litre tank is pretty poor when it comes to adventure riding. So, you know, having a 17 litre, I feel like is a sweet spot between the 10 and the 28 litre that the other Safari offers, providing you're staying with the Safari brand. So, really excited to see how this tank goes. I've got an upcoming trip in the next week or so we can give it a bit of a shakedown. But for now, let's just get this unwrapped, get it on the bike, see how it looks and feels, and go from there. Especially compared to the other one, there's a noticeable difference. Hardware, instructions, some foam mounting stuff, a couple of nuts, and obviously a new fuel tap. That's what comes with it. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is get some fuel in this tank, rinse it out. Safari suggests that you rinse it out with some fuel just in case there is any plastic debris or anything from manufacturing in there. You want to clean that out, and at the same time you want to check the tank for leaks. There might be some small leaks again from manufacturing or possibly from transit, so you want to check all that sort of stuff before you actually get it on the bike and then fill it up with fuel and go, oh shit, I've got a leak, I need to now take it back off the bike and then get it fitted out. So first things first is get a bit of fuel in there, rinse it out, check for leaks, then you can move on to the next step. Alright, so we've drained our tank, got a few chunky pieces of plastic out of it, got it all drained out, filled it up again with another 2 litres or so of fuel, gave it another complete rinse out and drained it into a container so I could sort of see what was still coming out, and they were very, very small fine particles and not very many of them at all. So we've got it all rinsed out. Now the next step is to obviously start pulling the bike apart. We want to start by draining the fuel out of the existing tank and go from there. Now just to clarify, guys, Safari do send you through all of the instructions of these. The instructions are actually online as well. So if you have any troubles putting it on, it's all there in black and white writing for you to read. But yeah, just to clarify, they do send you through instructions that you can read and go step by step with the installation. Alright, so the tank's drained. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this new fuel tap into the tank so that any little bit of fuel that's left over in there doesn't sort of go everywhere. They do tell you to use anti-seize or grease on these nuts so that if you ever take it off, you don't obviously rip out the nutset. So we're going to do that. Then I'm going to attack the seat, radiator shrouds, and then I can take off the original tank and move on to the next step. Couple of things that you need to take off your original tank and mount to the new tank so it'll fit on there. One of them is 2 screws and this bracket here. You want to take that off, obviously put it on the new tank. You need to take this screw off as well, so the little clip down the bottom, the little rubberized clip, has something to hang on to. And the other things that you'll need to take off You'll also need to take these two brackets off the bottom of the old fuel tank and put them on the new one so that it has something to mount to on the frame. This is actually worth mentioning. When I've gone to put my bracket off the original tank onto the new one, the holes don't quite line up. It's just not correctly aligned. So just going to grab a 7mm drill bit, going to drill that hole out a little bit bigger, so then obviously I've got a little bit more space, a little bit more play to get that bolt in and get it lined up with that sort of nutsert in there. But you may just have to drill out that bracket hole a little bit more. Now we've got those parts on from the other tank, I'm just going to chuck this on the bike, sort of see how it fits, try and settle it into its position, and then if everything fits well, I'll then put the strips on the outside of the rubber strips on the outside of the radiator there, and start to put it back together. Alright guys, so everything in regards to fitting the tank seems to be going fine except for one thing. I don't know if you can see that. Just on the bottom there, there's a lip on the bottom edge of the radiator that's digging into that. Now they give you a foam strip to put along the side of the radiator, which is supposed to sort of buffer that. I just feel like after a while it's probably going to end up failing, you know, if it gets wet, weather and stuff like that, compressing. It's probably not going to do the best job, so I'm hoping if I just get some pliers and I bend that little edge down, it'll be a flat surface if it touches there instead of an edge surface, which is hopefully going to prevent it from digging in there. That's just from trying to fit the tank on there now. So you can imagine what like 1,000 Ks or 5,000 Ks on the bike's going to do. It's going to wear a hole in there sooner or later. So try and bend the edge of the radiator down. It's just a little lip. And hopefully that fixes the problem. That just snapped off. So that's basically it. It's fit up much better now. You can sort of see down the side here how little room I have. That's the foam piece touching there. But when I stop pulling the tank away, obviously it pushes in, which is fine because I've now got that little bit of foam separating the radiator and the tank. So I think it'll be fine. I'll probably just end up putting a little bit more foam in between the radiator there and the inside of the tank just to make sure that nothing rubs. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way it's sitting on the bike and the way it's positioned. So to get that tank back on and get the bolt back into the brackets, obviously that has to go through this hole. Now because the tank's bigger, you're going to have to fashion yourself a quite long extension bar thing. I've obviously coupled several together to get the length that I need to get in there, but you're gonna have to sort of do something like that to actually get the distance to get it into the hole. Rightio guys, done and dusted with the install of the tank on the bike. Really happy with the way it looks and the way it's sitting on the bike and everything like that. A couple of things to consider when you're installing this tank is the radiator and the tank might not completely line up. Like I did have that rubbing issue on one side, so you need to be prepared that you might need to manipulate the position or the side of your radiator a little bit just to get that perfect fit. Obviously the bolt holes as well, they didn't completely line up, had to drill them out a little bit, which is fine. And the other thing is, if you're going to keep your standard blinkers, you just need to know that on full lock they're going to hit your tank. It's not really the end of the world because they're going to bend up, but you just need to be aware that they will hit the tank on full lock. Now, for anyone out there that's scrolled through the Adventure Rider forums for even 2 or 3 minutes, you'll know that there's a bit of mixed information out there when it comes to how much fuel you can actually fit in these tanks. So I thought I'll fill it up from bone dry and see how much I can actually get in there. So I went and put 5 litres in a jerry can, brought it back, chucked it in here, and then rode down to the servo and then completely topped it up. The servo is only about 800 metres down the road, so I didn't really burn any fuel going down there. But the total amount of fuel that I got in this tank was 20.5 litres. So this is advertised as a 17 litre, so I can only assume, I might be incorrect here, but I can only assume that it's 17 litres until you hit reserve, and there's a 3-ish litre, 3.5 litre reserve on that tank. But I gotta say, I'm pretty bloody happy that I can squeeze 20 litres in there, especially coming from the standard tank, which is only 10 litres. So there's a massive difference there, and I'm pretty excited to see how far I can get on trips. I hope you guys got some value out of this video, even if it is just one little thing to make your install easier. As always, I appreciate everyone that watches, comments and likes and all that kind of stuff. Love the interaction on the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.